Let me talk to you for a moment, because the greatest battle you will ever fight is not with the world, not with your circumstances, not with the people who doubted you. The real fight is happening in your own head. Before anything on the outside breaks you, something on the inside tries to convince you that you're not enough. And if you don't identify that voice early, it will slowly sabotage everything you are trying to build. See, toxic thoughts don't kick the door down, they whisper, they sound logical, they sound familiar. They say, "You tried before and failed." They say, "Maybe this dream is not for you." They say, "Play it safe, stay where you are." And the danger is not that those thoughts exist. The danger is when you start believing them without questioning where they came from. Some of you are fighting enemies you can't see, and that's why you feel tired all the time. You wake up exhausted not because your body is weak, but because your mind has been carrying fear, doubt, and unresolved pain for too long. You're trying to move forward while your thoughts keep pulling you backward. You want progress, but you keep replaying old mistakes. You want confidence, but you keep reminding yourself of every time you fell short. And I need you to hear this clearly. You cannot build a strong future on a broken internal conversation. If you don't confront what's poisoning your thinking, it will eventually poison your actions. You see, the enemy within is sneaky. It disguises itself as realism. It tells you you're just being practical, when really you're being fearful. It tells you you're protecting yourself, when really you're limiting yourself. And the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent or opportunity. They fail because they never challenge the lies they told themselves every single day. They let their thoughts run wild without discipline. They let emotions drive decisions, and over time, those thoughts become habits, and those habits become a lifestyle of settling. At some point, you've got to stop and ask yourself, who planted these thoughts in my head? Was it a past failure? Was it someone who spoke negativity over your life? Was it a moment of embarrassment that you never healed from? Because once you identify the source, you regain your power. Awareness is not weakness. Awareness is the beginning of control. When you can say, that thought is fear talking, not truth, you take your first step toward mental freedom. Let me be real with you. Your mind will try to protect you by keeping you comfortable, but comfort has never produced greatness. That voice telling you to stay small, stay quiet, stay safe, it's not your friend. It's a survival mindset trying to keep you from pain, but in doing so, it keeps you from purpose. And you have to decide whether you want to survive or whether you want to live fully. You cannot negotiate with toxic thoughts. You have to confront them. You have to challenge them. You have to replace them. Every level you want to reach requires a new mindset. You cannot think like the person you used to be and expect to become who you're meant to be. That old version of you was shaped by fear, by lack, by limitation. But the next version of you demands courage, clarity, and belief. And belief starts when you stop letting negative thoughts speak without evidence. Just because you think it doesn't mean it's true. Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's final. So today, make a decision. Stop letting the enemy live rent. Free in your mind. Call it out. Expose it. Replace it. Because the moment you gain control over your thoughts is the moment you gain control over your future. Now, once you've recognized what's been attacking your mind, the next step is just as critical because awareness alone won't save you. You can identify toxic thoughts all day long, but if you keep feeding them, they will grow stronger. Your mind is like a system that responds to what you consistently give it. Whatever you focus on, whatever you replay, whatever you entertain eventually becomes your reality. And that's why some of you feel stuck even though you know better. You know what's wrong, but you keep consuming what keeps you weak. Every single day, you're feeding your mind something. Conversations, music, social media, news, memories, opinions. None of it is neutral. It's either building you or breaking you. And the reason negativity feels so powerful is because it's easy to consume. It requires no effort to complain, to compare, to scroll, to replay painful moments, but purpose demands intention. Purpose demands discipline. Purpose demands that you make a conscious decision to protect your mind like your future depends on it, because it does. You can't say you want growth while constantly entertaining voices that doubt you. You can't say you want peace while feeding your mind chaos. At some point, you've got to get tired of being tired. You've got to realize that your breakthrough isn't just about working harder on the outside. It's about guarding what goes on inside. When you starve negative thoughts of attention, they start to lose their strength. When you stop replaying failure, it stops defining you. When you stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel, you regain your focus. Feeding your purpose means reminding yourself why you started, especially on the days you don't feel motivated. It means filling your mind with words that stretch you, stories that inspire you, and environments that challenge you to grow. And let me be clear, this isn't about pretending life is perfect. This is about choosing what deserves space in your mind. Pain may knock on the door, but it doesn't have to move in. Doubt may show up, but it doesn't get to take control. Some of you are asking for confidence, but you keep feeding insecurity. You're asking for clarity, but you keep surrounding yourself with confusion. You're asking for strength, but you keep rehearsing weakness. And the hard truth is this: what you repeatedly consume eventually controls you. If you want a stronger mindset, you have to build stronger mental habits. That means cutting off certain conversations, limiting certain distractions, and being honest about what drains you. Purpose doesn't grow by accident. It grows by repetition. It grows when you speak life over yourself, even when nobody else does. It grows when you replace "I can't" with "I'm learning." It grows when you take responsibility for your mental diet. Because the moment purpose becomes louder than fear, fear loses its grip. When your why becomes stronger than your excuses, quitting is no longer an option. And understand, this starving negative thoughts doesn't mean they disappear overnight. It means you stop giving them authority. You stop letting them make decisions for you. You stop letting emotions override discipline. You show up even when your mind tells you to sit down. You push forward even when doubt tells you to wait. And over time, consistency rewires the way you think. So don't just ask for a better life. Build a better mind. Choose daily what you allow to shape you. Feed what empowers you. Starve what limits you. Because what you consistently feed will ultimately decide who you become. There's something I need you to understand, and it might be uncomfortable. But it's necessary if you want a clear mind. You cannot keep moving forward while living mentally in yesterday. Some of you are physically present, but mentally you're stuck in a moment that already passed. A mistake, a failure, a relationship, a decision you wish you could undo, and every time you try to rise, that memory pulls you back. Not because it has power, but because you keep giving it permission. The past only controls you when you refuse to release it. You keep replaying what went wrong, questioning what you should have done differently, punishing yourself for not knowing then what you know now. But hear me, growth comes with hindsight. You were doing the best you could with the awareness you had at that time. Beating yourself up today doesn't change yesterday. It just steals strength from today. And as long as your mind is occupied with regret, guilt, and shame, it has no space to create vision. You can't see where you're going if you're constantly looking backward. Some of you think holding on to the past keeps you humble. No, holding on keeps you trapped. Humility comes from learning, not from reliving pain. There's a difference between learning the lesson and living in the lesson. The lesson is meant to teach you, not imprison you. But when you refuse to let go, your mind stays in survival mode. You're always guarded, always tense, always afraid of repeating the same pain. And that fear shows up in how you move, how you decide, how you trust yourself. Let me say this clearly. Healing is not weakness. Healing is work. It takes strength to face what hurt you, to admit what broke you, and to decide it will no longer define you. Too many people avoid healing because it forces them to confront emotions they buried. But buried pain doesn't disappear. It leaks into your thoughts, your reactions, your confidence. And then you wonder why you're inconsistent, why you self-sabotage, why you hesitate when opportunity shows up. You don't owe your past unlimited access to your future. Yes, you failed. Yes, you fell short. Yes, you made decisions you regret. But none of that disqualifies you from becoming better. What disqualifies you is refusing to forgive yourself. You can't expect peace while holding on to punishment. You can't expect clarity while your mind is cluttered with self-blame. At some point you have to decide that growth matters more than guilt. And understand this letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means accepting. It means saying, that happened, but it doesn't own me. It means choosing progress over pride, healing over habits, purpose over pain. When you let go, you don't erase your story. You reclaim it. You take control back from moments that no longer deserve authority in your life. Some of you are waiting to feel ready before you move on. That feeling may never come. Readiness is built through action, not emotion. You move forward even when it hurts. You move forward even when the memory still stings. And with every step, the weight gets lighter. The mind begins to breathe again. The future starts to look possible. So release what you can't change so you can focus on what you can build. Because the moment you stop carrying yesterday is the moment you finally have the strength to create tomorrow. Now let me bring this home, because everything we've talked about up to this point means nothing if it doesn't turn into action. Clearing your mind is not a one-time decision, it's a daily fight. Every morning your thoughts will test you. Every setback will try to pull you back into old patterns. And this is where mental toughness separates those who change from those who stay stuck. You don't win this battle by waiting to feel ready. You win it by moving even when your mind is screaming excuses. See, excuses sound reasonable. They tell you to rest when you really need discipline. They tell you to wait for the perfect moment that never comes. They tell you that tomorrow will be easier, that motivation will magically appear. But success doesn't respond to excuses. It responds to action. Action is what silences toxic thoughts. When you move your body, when you take the step, when you do the work, your mind has no choice but to follow. Some of you have been trying to think your way into confidence, but confidence is built through repetition. It's built by showing up when it's uncomfortable. It's built by keeping promises to yourself when nobody is watching. Every small action you take becomes evidence against the voice that says you can't. Every time you push through resistance, you train your mind to trust you. And that trust is the foundation of mental strength. Mental toughness doesn't mean you never feel doubt. It means doubt doesn't get the final say. It means you feel fear and still move forward. It means you're tired, but you stay committed. It means you stop negotiating with your excuses, because every time you negotiate, you lose. Your comfort zone will always argue for itself. It will remind you of past failures. It will highlight the risk. It will exaggerate the pain. And if you listen long enough, it will talk you out of your potential. You don't need a massive plan to start. You need a decision a decision to act even when the outcome isn't guaranteed, a decision to do something today that aligns with the person you're trying to become, because clarity doesn't come from overthinking, it comes from movement. The more you act, the clearer your direction becomes. The more you hesitate, the louder your doubts grow. Let me tell you something real. Your habits are shaping your mind, set whether you like it or not. If your habits are weak, your mind will be weak. If your habits are disciplined, your mind will grow stronger. You don't rise to the level of your intentions, you fall to the level of your habits. And that's why consistency matters more than intensity. One good decision won't change your life, but a series of disciplined decisions will. Some of you are waiting for toxic thoughts to disappear before you act. That's not how it works. Action comes first. Momentum comes second. Motivation comes last. When you move, your mind adjusts. When you stay still, your mind attacks. Stillness feeds doubt. Movement builds belief. This is not about perfection. You will mess up. You will miss days. You will struggle. But mental toughness is built in the comeback. It's built when you refuse to quit on yourself. When you fall, you get back up faster. When you slip, you recommit quicker. That resilience is what rewires your thinking. So replace excuses with action. Replace hesitation with discipline. Replace overthinking with movement. Because the life you want is on the other side of the work you keep avoiding. And the moment you choose action is the moment your mind finally gets in line.